Welcome back to another episode on Journey to Authenticity, a podcast helping you to become fully authentic on your journey to success. I'm your host, Breeden Belknap, and I'm a human just like you, striving to build a dream life, all while I stay true to myself. But what if you're in a position of feeling like your environment is going to be your future? Maybe you come from a poor background, whether that's in money, mindset, spirit, body, whatever the case is, you came from a poor environment as a child, and you feel like you are being held back from that. If you feel like you don't know where you're going, you don't know exactly who you want to be or what you want to achieve, or naturally you just feel stuck. You're not working hard. You're not grinding. You're not willing to work smart or hard. It's exactly why we have Mark Evans joining us today, because he transformed everything. He wasn't a product of his environment as a child. He transformed that today and through his journey to truly be the person he wants to be, but also is creating the life consistently that he wants to live. With that in mind, welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To jump right in, what initially inspired entrepreneurship being a deal maker for you?
You know, I grew up small town Ohio, right? So my mom and dad worked really hard for way too little. I felt fight all the time about money, not having it, right? So I was like, what's the ultimate way to solve the problem? Get money, right? So I've always been an entrepreneur my whole life that I can remember since 5 years old. You know, selling toys, selling candy, selling cards, whatever. It was always kind of in my blood. So I just obviously, you know, as you become an adult, that changes a little bit. Not still selling that same stuff, but you know, to me, it was like a solution to a problem, and that's what real entrepreneurship is about: solving problems.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
If you can solve a problem, how big of a problem you solve is how much you're going to get paid at the end of the day. I love it. So you started out poor.
I started out with no money. Yes.
Would you say it was poor monetarily, but also poor mindset? Like, how did that look when you?
Yeah,
were
no, I think I
up?
always had a positive mindset, right? If I saw something bad happen, I'm like, man, thank God they didn't die, right? So I always had like a positive perspective to it, you know, but I never read a book until I graduated high school. You know, when I was in school, you know, I collaborated. They called it cheating. I was good at math, not in English. So it's like, you know, let's switch. And in real life, you have to collaborate. You have to be a good communicator, connect with people and work together. So for me, school was just never my thing, right? So for me, being poor, I wouldn't say mindset, but the first book I read was Think and Grow Rich, right? I never realized what that was. Is at a library. You know, just again, having that, I always wanted more. I always knew there was capable of getting more. So it's like, I got to become someone different to get that. Absolutely. And to me, back then, this pre-internet, but this is like you had to read, you know?
It's not just a podcast like we're on now.
Dude,
I'm sure there was podcasts just on the radio.
It was more talk radio, right?
Yeah.
Back then. But I don't think they were talking about the stuff we talk about here. I don't think really entrepreneurship was like, keep in mind, entrepreneurship when I was young in 96, you were lazy, trying not to work. That's what it meant. Now it's the cool thing. Back then it was not so cool. You know what I mean?
And the problem is now is people get into it thinking it's easy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool.
Yeah.
No, it is cool. It's fun. It has challenges. Mm-hmm. You got to grind. And like you said, I'm sure your upbringing, you read your first book after high school. Mm-hmm. It's not like you were gifted this phenomenal, hey, you do X, Y, Z, then you're going to have $1 million.
Yep.
Then you're going to have $1 billion, whatever the case is. No, you got to go figure it out.
Dude, my goal when I was 18 years old, I lived with my parents. I wanted to make $100,000 a year. So I looked at it and just reverse engineered. I'll work 365 days a year. I'll work 16 hours a day. How much do I need to make per hour? Right? I was willing to sacrifice missing fun things, not hanging out with my buddies, all that stuff. I knew like my goal was money. And that's how I bought my first company 2 days after high school. So, you know, to me, $1 million was like not even a thought. Like, I mean, cool, to be a millionaire, that'd be awesome. But like, I got to make $100,000 first. You know what I mean?
Honestly, there's a lot of power to what you just said, though, right? Logically, right out of high school, right out of college, whatever the case is, wherever somebody is, it's pretty rare that they're going to go from nothing to $1 million.
It doesn't happen.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And as you make the first 100,000, and you make the 150, and then the 300,000, naturally you start to see how easy it is. It's just as easy to make $1 million as it is 100,000. It's just a process.
Sometimes easier, but you have to have the mindset to know that, though, right? You have to go through the 100K journey to even get there. I've never met anybody in my life that's made $1 million that hasn't made 100,000 first. Right. So
that's the truth.
You got to make that 100 G's first and then evolve from there. It's like, okay, cool. I was good at that. I didn't like that. It's constant discovery mode. I'm still discovering, like, what am I good at? Where's my best efforts? What do I need to say no to more? Because now as I get bigger and older, I'm 28 and a half years into entrepreneurship. I don't know anything. The longer I'm in the game, the more I realize there's so much out there. So to me, every day I wake up is a success. Now, what I do with it is up to me. But yeah, dude, listen, a lot of hard times, a lot of long hours, a lot of no money. Like, I didn't make money for a long time, but I was making money, but not keeping it, right? Because you have staff, you have materials. I was learning material management, staff management. Don't hire all your friends, stuff like that. And if you do, like, I was good at hiring, just not good at managing. And unfortunately, you got to manage people when you hire them, right? So, and I just work, man. I'm not afraid to work, and I think that's like something that's dying off for sure.
Hard work is the way to go. They often say, work smart, not hard. No, you got to marry the two.
Yeah.
Because you can be very smart. Mm-hmm. If you're not executing, it's not going to come to fruition.
Yeah. You have to have a direction for sure, right? Hard work with a direction, with smart work behind it, you're going to get a long way for sure.
Absolutely. For me, for a while, when I started my entrepreneurship journey, I got stuck in education mode, right? Education, no execution.
Well, you feel like you're learning. Yeah, you feel like you're doing by learning.
It's
right. But actually, it's very frustrating.
It's false confidence, quite frankly. For a long time, I was like, oh, I'm moving forward. I'm moving food. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You have a lot of knowledge and you're not putting it to use.
Yep.
Sometimes it's better to read one book and go execute for a year over read. Don't get me wrong. Dude, I'm a daily reader.
I know. I love it. But I say this all the time. I mean, I think most people are so overeducated. This is why they don't do anything. They can talk the language, but they're not getting the results. So then, it's cool. You and I could chop shop, but then you go home and you're broke. And you're like, dude, what's wrong? Well, there's nothing wrong. It's just you're not working. That's the only thing. I think if most people want to get success, they got to stop reading and stop listening to podcast shows, unfortunately, and get to work, because this hour that they're listening to this podcast show, that could be 20 calls they could have made, 3 hangups, 2 FUs, and 1 deal closed. And again, like I run at a different cadence. I run at a high temperature when I'm in work mode. Like, I'm getting, anxious just talking about, because I just want to work. I want results. I want to get told no. I want to get told F you. I want to get kicked off the porch, depending where you're at. Like, the opportunities are massive, and this false education, this false confidence, man, is a real problem.
Absolutely. Sure. Have you ever gotten caught up in that education mode over execution, or do you feel like I'm just
too dumb to do that? Truthfully, like, I'm not that smart, so I'm not overeducated in anything. I have a lot of smart people in my world that I actually help with this problem that we were talking about, where I'll be talking to my team. I'm like, hey guys, you guys are overthinking this. This is very simple. Here's the thing is, the truth is, I actually oversimplify everything because my brain doesn't think complex. It thinks simplicity. So my team, especially accounting departments and CFOs, they're very complex, right? Like, everything's got to be down to the penny. I've never done a bank balance in my life. I don't do it. I never have in my entire life. Balance a checkbook, right? So it's like, could I learn how to do it? Of course. But I always ran everything when I was broke, like plus or minus $5. Then as you get a little bit of money, plus or minus 100 in the account. Then as you get bigger, plus or minus 1,000, plus or minus 100,000, plus or minus $1 million. So like, I've just never had to do it, because it's like, that's not, I can't do it, So I don't fall into that problem. I just work, dude. Like, people are like, well, let's have this call. It's like, let's call now. And they're like, no, we got to go through the problem. I can't. That's why I'm not good at like managing like sales guys. Because I don't like role play. I just do it live. I want to do it live. That, to me, that's role playing. It's like, we're going to learn together.
What better way to learn than do it?
I agree.
Get out and go make it happen. The beauty in that is, it's not just some facade. You're not just playing hard guy or nice guy. It's like, you are getting real tangible coaching.
Dude, it's the best, man. Like, those are our most successful guys in the team, right? You're not going to read a book all day to learn how to ride a bike, are you? You're going to read a book how to get muscles? You got to get to the gym, dude. You got to do the work,
You don't need to really know anything else.
Dude, they're afraid. They're afraid of failure, and whatever that word, by the way, all the words we're talking about is all relative. What does it mean to you? Failure to you and me might be drastically different. Rich to you and I, all these words mean different things to different people. But to me, it's like I want to be constantly failing forward, if you will. Like, what's the worst that could happen? I really don't know. Like, nothing, no one's jumping through the phone to beat you up. No one's going to send you an email. What are they going to do? Email you and cuss you out? Okay, click, delete, next. It's hurting a lot of people, dude. Like, massive action is lacking in all aspects of this game.
Absolutely.
It's good for guys like me, though.
So, more curious question. Was there any time that you got to know that you were like, man, that hurt my confidence?
Hurt my confidence?
Or maybe not confidence, it's not necessarily the right word, but just threw you off guard.
Yeah, maybe. Here's the thing is, dude, like, I always could tell a great salesperson by their spouse, what they look like, and all that. So, like, I'm the way I look, I'm used to rejection. It's normal. It's a dating scene, right, back in the day. But I never looked at it like that, dude. I was just one step closer. It's like, cool, that sucks, next. Yep, that sucks, next. It's like, go get 100 no's and then come back and let's talk. You're never getting 100 no's. You're going to eventually get someone to say yes out of that 100.
Absolutely.
So does it suck? Yeah, but like, I don't know. What else are you going to do? Watch TV? Watch a game? I really don't know. So I just focused on the outcome. I always talk about if your outcome is big enough, the process is not a problem. The problem is most people don't have a big outcome. That's why they get stuck up in the Mickey Mouse shit. Like, it's just, oh man, my phone, you don't understand. I'm like, dude, get on the phone. Like, I need an auto dialer. Why? Just like a podcast show. How many people want to start a podcast show that have to have all the perfect equipment? I run a podcast show with a handheld microphone. That's it. And we have tens of thousands of people that listen to it. And it's like, cameras, you got a great setup here. But a lot of people, dude, they won't, complexity kills momentum.
This is the first show. Yeah. If you saw my first show, which everybody listening, go look at it, looks like crap.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I thought my podcast, the first one, was like the bomb. It was complete shit.
Well, without it, you wouldn't be here.
Not at all.
Right. So I always know that without dude, like, if we ever look backwards, which most guys that we know don't really do that because we're too busy forward focused, we would all be embarrassed. So, like, we'd be like, what was I thinking? What was I wearing? What was I saying? Why did I say it like that? But again, you're just doing it, man. Massive action. You don't have to get it right. Just get it going. That's the key.
Absolutely. I can tell that you were born to be an entrepreneur, right?
I believe so.
Because I honestly think that just comes down to rejection. Can you or can you not handle it? It's not to say that somebody listening to this is thinking, man, rejection is so hard. Like, that hurts. Fine.
Yeah.
Figure out how to make that no a positive. For example, for me, I'm the same way. Once I was knocking on doors when I first started in sales, a guy pulled out a gun on me. I thought it was the funniest thing. I know that sounds odd, but I was like, how much do you have to hate yourself to pull a gun on some salesman? Like, that's crazy. But point being is, for the ones that I was managing back in the day on the doors that were struggling with it, turn those no's into a positive, man.
Absolutely.
How many no's do you need to get to a yes?
Yeah.
Instead of when's the yes happening? Because then you can't count the no's. I started to count. Oh, I got 3 no's. I got 4 no's. I got 5 no's. Okay, I got 7 no's. The next one's going to be a yes.
Yep.
And if it wasn't, I just knew the time was coming.
Absolutely. No, I mean, listen, I've always gamified this game. It's like no's or yeses, just a matter of time. And not only that, a no today isn't a yes. It could be a yes tomorrow. Like, and not only that, then you look at the mirror. Entrepreneur is true reflection, in my opinion, where you look in the mirror, like, you have to be like, dude, I suck at sales. I need to get better at it. I need to learn. And I need to, like, dude, real life practice my script. How do you present yourself? What are you wearing? What do you say? How do you say it? Like, all this stuff matters, especially in, door to door and phone as well too. Like, so it's like, I mean, we've done hundreds of millions of dollars in sales on the phone and email and internet. So it's like the opportunities are there if you're just willing to, again, I don't think about rejection. Like, I'm not going to reject my future life because I'm afraid of a no from a stranger. That just sounds absolutely stupid to me. Like, it sounds crazy.
People feel like that person is going to remember them.
They don't care about you.
They forget you in the next hour.
I always tell people, listen, if you're worried about that, what's the last 3 emails you got today? What's the last 3 phone calls, spam calls you got today? You don't remember the last one, let alone the last 3. No one cares about you. They're so self-indulged in themselves. That's all they care about.
Sure.
So who cares? And by the way, maybe if you're good at what you do, they will remember you because you actually helped them, depending on what you're selling and offering, where you actually made their life better, gave them peace of mind, made them money, whatever you do. So it's like, those are the people I care about remembering me anyways.
Absolutely. So when you first started, you were working around 16 hours a day. Is that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 4 a.m. till like 10 p.m. But I love it, dude. Like I'm not saying everyone should do that. Keep in mind, I'm 18, no kids. That's the season I was in. So I was in the game of like, I really was focused on making 100,000 a year.
Sure. And obviously now you have awesome family. You are living life. When was that pivoting point where you really feel like you figured it out? Where
Well, honestly, dude, I don't think I figured anything out yet. Like I always tell all my buddies, all the guys I work with, like we're just getting started, right? I think once you think you figured it out, you're probably dead in the water because the world is evolving so fast. Look at AI. AI, the opportunities. I'm very big in relationship capital. To me, entrepreneur is a lifelong game. It's not like a short-term game. So, it's like I have to constantly be leading, constantly be growing to lead properly. And the guys around me are growing. So we're all growing like at levels that are thoughts I never even thought could happen, which is pretty cool. But I don't think I figured anything out. I do think I figured me out a little bit better, what I'm good at, what I'm not. Right. So I don't say yes to everything like I used to, but there's so much to learn. I'm very curious about learning all the time,
you highlighted the biggest segment as to whether somebody becomes their best self, whether they accomplish success, and that's awareness.
Mm-hmm.
What am I good at? What am I not good at? Dropping off the not good at, you can hire that, you can forget about it, whatever the case is on
Sure.
how you want to allocate that. But also the fact is, we talked before the podcast started, over 90% of podcasts quit after episode 3.
Yep.
Why start if you're not going to execute till the end?
Well, like we said earlier, everyone's great starters, terrible finishers, and it's easy when it's easy. It's easy to go to the gym when you want to.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it's the separator. It's the ultimate separator. And not only that, let's be honest, like sometimes it's just timing. Maybe something dramatic happened in their life. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have time to worry about what everyone else is doing, truthfully. I think it's just, I'm looking at human nature. I think most people just quit on their dreams and goals all the time. So they've just become comfortable with it and used to it. So it just becomes normal to them. Like, I don't ever want to normalize quitting on your dreams. Even my son, like, if he starts something, I'm like, dude, you said you're going to do it. You do it. We were we flew in here in the jet with a bunch of guys. It was a late night, 10:30 at night. That's a long night for us because it's 12:30 back home. He got up at 5 a.m. He's like, Dad, gym's open. Let's go to the gym. Right. He knows, like, that's what we said we're going to do. We got to do it. We don't want to all the time, but you got to.
If you rely on your emotions, you will quit.
Emotions lie to you, because and again, it's like, how close are you with your emotions? A lot of people are just emotional wrecks. They're like, oh my God, it's a bad day. I'm like, dude, you stubbed your toe. You woke up, you have nice house, nice cars, everything. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just perspective too. They don't really, I don't know, man. I'm very thankful for everything I have every day. I'm just lucky to be here.
And that's a truly beautiful thing. And here's why. Most people feel like gratitude has a double-edged sword, right? Because you can use it in a negative sense too. I'm so grateful for this. Why would I want more? No, I'm so grateful for this. I want more.
Yeah.
It's an abundance mindset. Gratitude, when used properly, allows you to unlock your full potential.
Well, not only that, like, again, back to perspective, like I'm very thankful for what I have, but that doesn't mean I don't want more, not just for me, but others. Because if I go get more, I can give more, right? Not only that, I got kids watching me, I got buddies watching me. Like, true leadership is, it's caught, not taught. They catch it. They watch you. They're watching it. They're listening to you. Like real players, it's not what you say, it's what you do and what you create, So I'm very conscious of that, man. Like, there's absolutely, I always think about the abundance thing, like the sun. If someone has an abundance problem, that's wild to me. Even though I grew up in that world where abundance is kind of a weird thing, but it's like we can all go outside and get sun. If I get sun, that doesn't mean you get less sun. We both get the same. Like, there's enough sun for all of us. And so it's just like money, opportunity. I don't believe in competition. I believe in collaboration. I love guys. I was just talking to a guy on the plane on the way here. He's like, dude, Priscilla changed my life in 2016. Then I heard Waylon on it. And then I heard about you through Waylon. Boom. And now we're here. Like, that's amazing to me. Like, podcast shows aren't my competition. They're my collaboration opportunities like we're doing right now. Right. So it opens up the door to a lot of opportunity when you start thinking abundantly.
That's the truth. You could say people want other people to feel like it's limited. Resources are limited. It's not. You're highlighting the truth.
There's only one thing limited, and that's time. It's fleeing all of us, right? I'm old. You're young. I'm 46 now. So I'm on the other side of that game. And I'm telling you right now, like, time is a real thing. If you're in your 20s, you're like, yeah, whatever. It's like, whatever. But I remember being 25 like 2 days ago. And now I'm 46 with kids and all this other crazy stuff and good stuff. So it's like, abundance, dude, you live abundantly. There's no other reason not to, just don't use your time abundantly.
Absolutely. Which, I mean, it's crazy. Obviously, I'm 25, you're
Yeah.
46. You're still young too.
Yeah. Well,
In the grand scheme of things.
grand scheme of things. Yeah.
Like there's still a lot of time.
Dude, I again, just knowing what I know now and where I'm going, like I said, I'm just getting started,
And that's what's so exciting. The one thing that I hate, the same statement that most people say, and these are usually the people that quit on their dreams, is, how's your day? Oh, same old, same old. It's like, why is it same old, man? Like, go create some excitement in your life. Go try something new. Go do something you've never done before.
Sure. You're right. No, it's same old, same old. Yeah. There's nothing same in our world. Every day's an adventure for sure.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously you've gone through life and you've built as I look up to you, you've become the man that you wanted to be, your
Sure.
authentic self. You've created an authentic life. Have you always felt authentic through your life, or do you feel like you've ever struggled with that?
I've always been a black sheep. I've always been the guy going against the grain. I've always known, when most people go right, I go left. That's kind of just my personality. It's always served me when I was a kid. Well, besides with my parents, my dad's going to spank me, whatever. But again, that was, to me, it was reinforcing like, hey, this ain't going to serve you well as a kid, but as an adult, it's going to be pretty good for you. I don't have like identity crisis kind of thing or whatever. Listen, I always thought about this, but like, if I'm not willing to trade everything for that person's life, why even think about it? Why even make it a thing? It's like, oh, that guy's taller than me. Oh, he's skinnier than me. Oh, he's better. Oh, he's better. Wait, well, dude, he might be getting beat at home. I don't know. I like the unknowns. Like, if I'm not willing to trade everything for that, I don't want to talk. I don't want to think about it. It's not even a thought in my head. Do I look up to guys and get inspired by what they drive? I've always liked nice cars, big houses. That's always been my thing. Lifestyles and Rich and Famous was my social media when I was a kid, because I was like, there was no social media like this. I was inspired by it, not intimidated or questioning who I was. I was more like, dude, if they can do it, why can't I? So I used it more as fuel. I'm trying to think. Identity-ish. I don't really, I don't have that problem, I don't think. I don't think I ever have.
What's very clear to me is that you just made the choice, right? You know who you want to be, and you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for XY result to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to wait for that $100,000 million to then grind as if you already had that result. You just start grinding as if you had it, which led to you getting it.
Exactly.
Again, we talked about this earlier, journey to authenticity. It can be a journey, but in reality, when are you going to make that choice?
Yeah. You feel like a lot of your audience suffers with authenticity and all that? A lot of people in general?
I revamped this podcast for that. I started the podcast. I forget the first name. That's horrible of me. But I went and I interviewed plenty of entrepreneurs here in Utah off podcast. Some of them were making $1 million plus a year. Some were making nothing.
Okay.
So more common than not that most people were thinking, what does mom think? What does dad think? What does that stranger think of me?
Really?
Is it good? Is it bad?
Oh, wow.
Most entrepreneurs, that's one problem I found in entrepreneurs that they struggle with the most.
Yeah, I've seen that. A lot of people carry mommy, daddy issues, grandma. Again, I call it thought auditing. When people they're judging me, it's like, okay, where did that thought come from? Grandma, grandpa, mom and dad, your mentors. A lot of times mentors have a lot of impact on you. It could be your football coach, cheerleading coach, whatever sport people are in. They look up to these individuals, these teachers, et cetera. And, a lot of limited belief systems into those processes. And grandma and grandpa had a different life than we did. Mom and dad had a different life than we did, So, by the way, I'm not trying to be them. I'm actually trying to make them proud. And what does that look like? So I think when you're building these environments for yourself, like, dude, again, you're you. You're you're unique. There's one of you in the world. Am I worried about what my mom and dad think? No, I'm actually more worried that they're not thinking at all. I want to inspire them. My mom and dad still are amazed at the life I've given them. I get to do cool things. I've given them some really neat things. And, I take care of my family, the people I care about the most. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. That's why I get to do what I do. So I think at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to be a better me. And these comes in seasons. This is a season journey. Some seasons are different when you have new kids that you're learning about what that's like. Then you start getting into wealth. I almost went bankrupt twice in my journey. And to me, I was more disappointed in myself. How did I do that? What did I miss? And really what it came down to, I just started slacking off. I started playing, so I started playing around, and then I remember in an efficiency apartment where I could literally brush my teeth, sit on the toilet, and take a bath at the same time because it was such a small place with candles with a book from the library, learning about business and real estate. I was like, dude, I got to come out of this hole. I got to get back refocused, and cause it's easy to get sidetracked, dude. When you don't have money and you make a decent amount of money, relatively speaking, back then, like you're in discovery mode, So I felt more disappointed that I'm letting myself down. And my parents raised me to be better than that.
And that's you took accountability.
100%.
And that alone is true authenticity. When you make the choice to take accountability, stop blaming others for the good and the bad, period, end of story. Let go of the good, let go of the bad. I'm not saying you can't listen to feedback from the people you listen to,
Sure,
look up to, what have you.
Yeah.
But if your emotions are dictated based upon what other people think of you, no matter who it is, you will listen to the bad, even the good.
Yeah. It's funny, man. Real entrepreneurs, dude, I could make $10 million a day or lose $10 million a day. You wouldn't even know the difference. Cause it's just, I've learned how to, condense these environments in my brain, and you just keep moving, dude. Like I don't go celebrate. I'm not, beating myself down on the ground like, what, you're a loser, blah 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 blah. And I'm also not like high five. I might, dude. I'm just moving. It's just part of the process.
I have the S&P 500. Historically speaking, has always gone up over time, right?
Mm-hmm.
If people start to look at the days,
oh yeah,
they'll get stressed.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I lost, however much money.
Yep.
Whatever percentage. What's the long term? I mean, you can really look at that with yourself. You will have hard days.
Sure.
I'm sure the first time you lost $1 million in a day, it wasn't necessarily like rainbows and unicorns.
Yeah, no. Dude, actually, it doesn't even happen at $1 million a day. By the time you hit $1 million, you kind of like realize it's part of the process of learning. But it was probably more Actually, I remember the deal. It was a $7,000 deal. I helped this guy in his business. I gave him $7,000 cash in a parking lot at Home Depot in Columbus, Ohio. I was trying to help him out. And I was actually, it wasn't the money I felt disappointed in. I felt disappointed in him because he took off with the money, never paid me back. And I was thinking, I'm like, man, like, because that's not how I am. I'm like, dude, like, we had a deal. I'm helping you. I'm going out on a limb on you. And I did it through a referral, a buddy of mine. And I was like, dude, I got you. Right? I want to see you win. And literally took the money, and I've never seen him ever since. So I was more disappointed in an individual that could do that. Like, to me, like, I forgot that's business. Like, some people are not just good people,
Sure.
And, some people are faking it like they are, but in reality, there's a guy in Utah that snagged me for $1 million, right? A lot of people know. So, he snagged me that would just happen.
He came crashing down though.
Yeah, it's still coming crashing down. But, and that's unfortunate because he has a lot of kids, like that sucks for this family. But again, like accountability, he did it. It is what it is. It's part of the process, I understand it's part of the game.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And once again, looking up that trend, that $7,000 was a dip for you, but you look over your graph per se over time and it's just climbing upwards, and goes back to the concept of if you make the choice to act in accordance to who you want to be now, you don't wait for tomorrow or a week. It's now. Have you already given up on your goals? Are you really going to wait till the next next year to get going? With that, what are some key principles that you learned from when you first started that you still use today because of how efficient they work?
I love people. So principle wise, listen, I'm looking for the jockey, not the opportunity. I'm paying attention to the jockey. Like, what do they have? What don't they have? Again, no one's 100% at this stuff. Warren Buffett doesn't make 100% calls, even though they say never lose, he loses money. So, they just did a really good job telling the story many times over. But I'm looking at the jockey. I want to see people win. I want hustlers. I'm always looking for people that have the hustle muscle, the people that have like the real struggle in life, like their why has to be big enough because I want them to weather storms. They're going to have storms, right? So if you've never weathered a real storm, dude, when a a dusting of rain comes, you're going to quit. It's like, I want the guys that actually get excited. Like, dude, when things get hard, I actually get excited because I know that's where the quitting happens. I don't sit there and just pray for, oh, I can't wait to have a terrible day today. But like, I know it's coming. It's just part of the game. And when it's here, now it's my time to stay really focused, hunker down, and get back to work. 2024, I talked to this to all my mentor clients and myself, even in our businesses, like, dude, it's our goal this year is survive to 25. 2024 is going to be a shit show. We got to dig deep. We got to learn. We got to grow. We got to clean up. We got to chop. We got to, reorganize. And that's what we did. We really hunkered down. We cut a lot of fat out of all over the place. And we were sloppy. Lots of companies, not just us, many, many companies were very sloppy and made a lot of money, and just you got sloppy and you act like you figured it out. And that's sometimes in entrepreneurship, you could be sloppy and still make a lot of money for a minute, but ultimately it will catch up with you. So just paying attention to those cycles, and just, reevaluating and staying on top of the game is really the goal.
And just consistently pushing forward, right? Sounds like that's all it is for you is, you know what? This is working. This isn't working. Cut out what's not working. Double down on what is working and maybe add a thing or two.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, business is really simple, dude. Humans are the complicated piece in this game. Businesses, I teach lots of different types of businesses, but like, and I'm involved in many different types. It's like, dude, business is business, money in, money out, boom, like whatever. But like you guys start adding humans in there and all this stuff. This is why AI is really going to change the game a lot for certain industries, not in a bad way, just it's going to be different. With all these AI bots and sales agents and stuff like that, like it can really eliminate a lot of headaches that we have to deal with and hard work, where now we just take those people and put them in different environments, and have it plug in somewhere else.
I say AI is going to change the game because it will really show the people that know what they're doing and the people that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, 2024 has done that already a lot. 2024 showed a lot of, Stevie Wonder saw he could throw a dart and hit a deal in business or real estate back in 2023. Now 2024 really was the exposure year. Lots of people went down. Lots of people that thought were crushing it were not crushing it, and that's unfortunate that happens. But it is a cleanup cycle. You got to remember we were in a massive bull market for many years in the economy, so it was a great cleanup season. But yeah, I do agree. I think AI is really going to wash, even clean it out even more, which is good for players.
The real people.
Yeah.
And the people that are here for good intention.
Mm-hmm.
The people that want to make an impact. You said earlier, me making more money doesn't just allow me to live a bit bigger life. It allows me to help impact other people.
Yeah.
It shows my kids that they can go make whatever they want happen.
Absolutely.
I mean, your decision to come into this life and make your life that you're living a reality now is transformed so many other people's mindsets.
Yeah, for sure.
Beyond your own family. You've
Absolutely.
Impacted society as a whole. I don't even think we can really even comprehend the impact that you've truly made.
Well, that, and the biggest thing I'm most proud of is the giving muscle concept, right? So, it's cool. We can all make money. Lots of people make money, but a lot of people are not good givers. So, we actually at our events, we've donated many millions of dollars just at the events, not counting collectively as a lot of our people are doing on their own too, right? So to me, the ripple effect is how do we do billions of dollars as a collective of my lifetime? And, but we got to start talking about that muscle. You don't get the muscle stronger if you're not, working it out. So we're giving gifts like, hey, plaques, like how much did you donate this year? Not how much did you make, because what you made is not directly correlated with what you give. And so I want to inspire people to give more, because when you focus on the giving and what it can do in the good, you actually can make more. It sounds crazy, but you want to go make more because it feels way better. Truthfully, like if I made more money today, it does not change my life. I have, I'm not buying another car, I don't need anything, right? But if I make more money, I can give more money away, and that will make me happy, and that will make me impactful. We donate all kinds of different things. So how do we do that more is really like, that's the giving muscle compound effect,
And we need more players like you in the game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think you're going to see a lot more of it, man. I think a lot of people, just like drinking alcohol, I think a lot of people might, I think the world is realizing alcohol is not as good for you. And just like cigarettes, right? Cigarettes used to be cool. Now it's not so cool. I think drinking used to be cool. Now it's kind of like, it's not so cool. And it's like, how do we make giving cool? I want to make giving cool and be proud of it. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't talk about money, about giving. Dude, if you don't talk about it, can we give more? How do I know who the players are actually giving? And some people oh, but there's haters out there. Okay, well, they can still hate, but I'm still giving, and there are certain occasions you give behind the scenes, and there are certain occasions you give to get exposure so everyone can, learn about what's going on.
To the person thinking or that is stingy with their money, what would your message be to them other than you can make more money by giving?
Well, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, people are very goofy about giving, right? So they don't understand the giving muscle, but just start playing with it. Give $10, give $20, give $50. I remember going to church and putting $20 in the thing, thinking I was a big dog. That's not changing much, but it could change. It changed me, right? It made me allow wow, okay, $20, that was a lot of money when I was a kid. But giving, just start. You got to start. It's like anything else. You just got to start and pay attention. How does it make you feel? There's some gives I've given houses away to homeless veterans. I didn't I did it. I did a bunch of times actually, and it just didn't work out as planned. And it kind of made me feel blah. And I was like, dude, there's a reason adults are homeless. That was straight up my thought conversation I had. So I stopped doing it. Right. That's the cool thing about giving. You can give to who you want. And I want to give to kids. Kids don't have choices. And then I want to go deeper into that. Kids that have cancer, they didn't choose cancer, right? Cancer chose them. So it's I want to give to those things that, help families and individuals. Yeah.
It's easy to go on your bank or whatever the case and say, hey, give 10% to a charity.
Yeah.
No, get out there.
Yeah.
Go see these kids.
Absolutely.
Go see the homeless.
Absolutely.
Go make that impact.
If you don't think you have anything to give, go out to Haiti, spend a day, because we've done this. We do a lot of stuff in Haiti. And if you're homeless in America under a bridge, you're way ahead of the game, compared to many other places. So again, back to perspective, you got to get down and like you said, get your hands dirty, get down in the grit and see what's really going on, and understand that in the beginning, maybe you don't have a lot of money, but give a little bit of money, give a little bit. If you don't have a little time, you got time. Go give some time. What's your skills? Maybe just giving them food or helping clean up or whatever. To me, it's just that's a giving muscle. It's very powerful.
Yeah, there's more than just money to give.
Yeah.
Time, skill.
Yeah. You can do all of the above. Right now in the journey of my life, I want to give more money because I don't have this time like I used to. But now, but again, with my kids, as they're getting older, time is starting to become a thing for them where they need to get in the shelters. They need to see what real life looks like on the other side, if you will, and have a reality hey, this is what it could look like if we were in the wrong family, because they were born this way. So I want to make sure we raise them properly on that side.
Well, even for you grew up in a trailer park, right?
Yeah.
It's that's a completely different life than
day and night. It's not even remotely close.
You're driving cars that are more than money than the trailer that you grew up in, I'm sure, right now.
Many times over.
Yeah. And so it's a different life. And I love that there's only so much you can teach somebody, right? Obviously, me and you both know it's way better to learn from somebody else, even when it comes from paying somebody to learn a skill. Why? Because then instead of taking 10 years, maybe it takes 5. Instead of taking 5, it takes 2. Sometimes, if you're anything like me, I'm a kid that needs to touch the hot stove 3 times before I learn.
Absolutely.
My parents told me not to touch the stove. I touched it through more than just once.
Yeah.
It's just how I am. And luckily, you can show that, right? They don't need to become poor to learn that your life's a good life.
Yeah, and maybe they will.
Go show them.
Yeah. Maybe I'll show them, but also maybe they will too. I don't know. I'm not the parent that my kids are going to be this. They're going to be this. Listen, they're their own independent persons. My goal is to do the best job I can with the time I have with them, and what they do is up to them. And I hope they make the right choices. And my ultimate goal is when they get older, I hope they want to hang out with me because that means I did a good job. Right. As a dad, but we got to remember I'm their dad first before I'm their friend. Right. I'm tough with them. I push them. We talk openly. These kids are on jets and yachts and mansions and cool car. I'm you guys understand this is not normal. This is every time we're in the car, we're in a $500,000 car. You guys understand this is not a normal car, but it's our normal. So, and it's not a good or bad thing. It's just we have to communicate. It's communication, dude. You got to communicate about this stuff. What it took to get here. How hard I had to work, how many years I had to work. And, by the way, you might not want this stuff either. Maybe you make a lot of money, you go give it all away. I don't know. Maybe you're a reverse tither, 90% away. Either way, I want them to have the skills and confidence to make their own decisions and stick with them and accomplish something big in their life.
Absolutely.
Whatever big means to them, by the way, too, right?
Out of curiosity, what age were you when you made your first $100,000? I know that was your initial goal.
Yeah, I mean, in business, it was 18 years old, but like, that was simply not through the gutter company. I was through real estate, right? So gutters was really hard. I generated 100,000 in gross sales, but probably made $50 net. But real estate, is the equal. If you have the guts to go out and do it, you can make a decent amount of money. Real estate is what allowed me to make a lot of money very quickly. So I mean, by 19, I don't remember because again, I was moving so big and so fast back then. I don't even think I celebrated 2 seconds of that because I'm like, if I can get 100, why can't I do 500? Why can't I do a million? That's just my personality.
Absolutely. It's celebrating. It's important to realize how far you've come. You realize that you're grateful for it.
Daily.
But celebrating.
Yeah.
Definitely can get in the way of your success.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it did. I was just hanging out. Like I said, when I almost went bankrupt the first time, I was just like hanging out, because again, I never hung out. I was working all the time. So I generated a decent amount of money. I'm like, dude, I can hang out now. Oh wait, I can go spend 10 grand at a club and it's not a big deal. Like I got money. I can do that. I wouldn't take those days back though. I mean, one, they were fun of what I remember of them. And then two, like I was learning about myself, I'm glad I got it out of my way because I don't want to be the 45-year-old guy that never did that. And then, I have an amazing family and I just go burn it to the ground to go party, So I got it out of the way. Me and my wife talk about it. Like I said, I talked with the kid. We sit down and have dinner every night at the table. And we talk about being grateful. What are the top 3 things you're grateful for? More importantly, what did you fail at today? Like failing is a good thing, because that means you're pushing. Everyone at the gym that's failed, they have the biggest muscles in that gym, just so you know. So that's what life and business is about to me. It's like, what are you failing at? What are you winning at? What are we grateful for?
That's what needs to get done to make the result.
Dude, in business, you're literally, I always say, if you're not dry heaving and scared to death and all, like, you're just not pushing yourself hard enough. Like there's many, 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 many nights that I could not sleep. I'm dry heaving. I'm like, I'm a fish out of the water right now. I'm in trouble. I'm over my head. Why would they ever give me this deal? I'm going to make what? This is impossible. Like, so to me, it's like, that's where the growth happens.
If your shirt's not soaked, you didn't work hard enough.
Yeah. And today I didn't work hard enough.
Hey, but that you went through the motions.
Some days you do that, right? Again, there's not one person in the world that's 100% at all this stuff. And if they say they are, run, because no one is. They're lying to you. They're trying to get your money. I think the key is awareness and keeping score,
Absolutely. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Going through the motions is more. And I guess just tie it, all of this is really connected at the end of the day, right? We could summarize this and it's all going to be connected. But at the end of the day, just go through the motions. Yeah. Make the choice to be your best self now. Mm-hmm. Make your choice to work hard now. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't want to do it. Still do it. Doesn't mean you're going to be 100%, like you mentioned. If everybody has the best workout of their entire lives every single day, some days you're not going to feel like it. Still do it.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel like you want to throw in the towel. Don't.
No, dude. Momentum is a very powerful tool in the game of life. And if momentum shifts, we've all been there where you're like, you get out of, business season or workout season and it's really hard to get back into season. But once you do, dude, like you're invincible, you're unstoppable. Yes, there's hard days, but you're like, it's no big deal. It's just rhythm, So exactly. I agree.
Love it, man. Well, a couple of quick questions and expand on them as you wish as well. First and foremost is, what is your definition of an authentic life?
Just being your best version of yourself every day. Right. I never really think about authentic life. I hear people toss this term around like authenticity and all that. I'm like, shit, isn't that's how you're supposed to live life? It's your life. Like the only way to live your life is to be you, I'm just in maybe it's just because my age or the people I hang out with, but it's never really brought into my life really, to be honest with you. Authenticity is to be expected, not a thing, it just is what it is.
Well, goes to be expected.
Dude, I think the coolest thing is people being different too. Like I love all types of people. And the crazier you are, the more I might like you. The way you dress. I mean, look at like this hat I wear, this kind of like part of my uniform. I've been wearing it since 97. So it's like, it's like, be you. Like, dude, they're like, who wears a Kangol? Where I'm from, I wore pink before it was cool. I wore a Kangol, but it's what I liked. I don't care. My grandmother's like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, I'm wearing what I like. And she didn't like it. I don't care. It's me. Now I'm not being rude or disrespectful, but like, grandma, quit being silly. This is what I like, whatever. But like, why are you, dude, it's my life. Like you said, I'm living it for me. With the situation you dealt with, right? When as a child, like, dude, this is my life. Yes, my parents did a good job or whatever, but like, it's not their life. And I have a way different life than they do.
That's the reality.
So, and I want everyone to be authentic. Like, that's the best, dude.
Absolutely. I forget the quote. This guy probably can correct me. But the Bible says something like, love God, love your neighbor the way you love yourself.
Mm.
And most people forget the way you love yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You can't love your spouse. You can't love your kids. You can't love your neighbor or God any more than you love yourself. And that's just a reality.
Yeah. No, it's always funny. Like, what's that saying? Treat other people how you want to be treated. I'm like, dude, most people treat each other like dog shit themselves. The way they look, the way they talk, the way they eat, everything about their life is not good. And that's how they're treating other people, unfortunately. Because we've been told, treat them how, no, we need to teach people how to be better. And we need to learn how to learn who other people are and what they like and all that. So, yeah, I like that. That's a good one. We need more of that.
Amen.
Yeah.
So if there was one last thing that you could leave with these young entrepreneurs, what would that be?
Dream bigger, do more. You're capable of so much more. I wish I would have went bigger, harder. I wish I'd have gotten. I've always been investing in masterminds and mentorships. I've done that since '96. I still do today. But you got to get in rooms. You got to invest. You got to buy time, speed. Just say yes more. Say no to the wrong things quicker. I know everyone in entrepreneurship is like, dude, hire slow, fire fast. No one's going to listen to that. You're going to hire fast, fire slow. It's what we do because we like people. And the ultimate thing is win with winners. Stop trying to fix losers. People are losers in life. It's who they are right now. It's okay. You just don't have to work with them. Find winners. There's people winning in this game of life. You want to win with them bigger, and you will go so much further. Because again, as an entrepreneur, we like to fix broken things, and we find a tendency to fix broken people that don't want to be fixed, and we get exhausted, and we work really hard, and it's like, dude, they just don't get it. Leave them alone. That's the season they're at in their life. We want them to come back around, but we'll be winning when they're ready to win with us. And that was a big thing. Dude, I spent a lot of time on a lot of broken people. And I wish, can't take it back, but I'm very conscious of that now. You know what I mean? I want winners, winner mentality, winner mindset, winner talk. And by the way, when I say winners, it's not like have millions in the bank. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about winning personality. You got the thoughts, you understand that you're responsible for your own actions. You want more out of life. You got to work hard. So I'm very that's a theme in my life is win with winners.
Well, you came from somewhere and you realized that.
Yeah.
And you had that mindset. So you realize it. Hey, you're a winner because you may not have what I have right now.
Yeah.
But I was just like you.
Absolutely.
And so you're a winner. So you realize winners.
Yeah.
You recognize it.
Absolutely, man.
So that's amazing. With that in mind, is there anything I or my audience can be doing for you?
No, man, just, share the show, right? Follow us, if, I'd love to stay. I'm very interactive. I don't have someone manage my social media, on my comments and all that stuff. So if people keep me posted with their progress, if they like the show, let me know where you're going, call your shot, dude. A lot of guys that, call your shot, call the big shot. Dude, I'm going to be blah, 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 blah. Let's go. I'd love to hear that. Because what's cool about the internet and social media and all that is you can actually document your thought. Right. And you can share it. It's kind of scary because it's actually there forever. But the thing is the only person that really knows it's there is you. But yet 10 years from now, you actually see it and you're like, I called my shot. So I do this. I actually message people back in the day, big guys, I'm like, there's no way they're going to reply. And then 10 years later, I meet them in person. I'm like, dude, I sent you a message 10 years ago. And they're like, what? And then boom, it's there. And then it's then we become buddies, But again, it's planting seeds. You got to constantly be planting seeds. Don't get discouraged if someone like me or whoever or you doesn't reply to me. The truth is I might not even see it. Social media is weird sometimes. I don't think I saw your message forever, right? So it's sometimes it happens. It gets hidden somewhere or whatever. Be encouraging. Don't be discouraged. Let them know dude, that's a banger show. That's awesome. I loved episode 7. Whatever they like on your show. Because, right, sometimes we don't want to do this either, but we keep going. And it might be that comment. We're having a bad day. Boom, we see a comment come in. We're like, okay, I got this. And it could be as simple as amazing show about XYZ or dude, you changed my life 3 years ago. You just never know, right? So it's kind of cool.
That's reality. Go call your shot. It's worth it.
Yeah. And live your life, dude. Don't live someone else's life. You only got one shot at this thing called life. Live it. And the truth is no one knows when our card's up either, right? I'm 46. I could be today. It could be hopefully 50 years from now or 100. You never know. So it's like you got to live every day at the fullest.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to the Journey to Authenticity podcast today. If you liked what both myself and Mark had to say today, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. This helps to ensure that I get the most optimal and exciting guests for you guys to truly learn how to transform your life and in your business. That in mind, why I have you here. If you're ready to take your success by hand, you're ready for a coach to truly help you step by step create the person that you're here to be and accomplish the things that you're destined to achieve, either go to bradenbelknap.com or the link below, and I would love to be the one helping you out. Have a good one, everybody.